Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for checking out today's video. And today, I have a good video for you. The gameplay in the background is called World War II on Gibraltar, some TDM. One of the best maps in the game, I'd say. It was one of the beta maps, but yeah, it was one of the best maps for sure. It's good flow and overall just a solid map. I'd say I give it on a scale of 1 to 10. I'd say I give it like a 7 or maybe an 8. It's definitely one of the better maps in the game, and I'm glad that I was able to get a gameplay on that for you today. So, for the topic today, you know my gameplays are just in the background for you to enjoy. The actual topic is what's most important, and today what I wanted to talk about is what is the best Call of Duty game. So, obviously, it's very subjective. Everyone's going to have their own opinions on what they think is the best Call of Duty game, and a lot of that has to do with like how old were you at the time, how fresh the game was for you at the time. Um, and like, what exactly are you talking about? Are you talking about the game as a whole? Are you talking about the multiplayer alone? Are you talking about the campaign and stuff like that? So what I wanted to do today, this is just my opinion, by the way. So don't let anyone take away from what your opinion is. What you think is the best game is completely up to you, and this is my opinion and my channel. So I just want to tell you my thoughts and what I think is the best Call of Duty game in my opinion. So I started playing Call of Duty in Call of Duty 3, and then I have played every game since at release. So looking back, I've actually took a little bit of time to reflect on this before making this video. And when I'm talking about the favorite Call of Duty game, I'm going to talk about the game completely with the campaign, the multiplayer, and then the third game mode that they usually have. In many cases, zombies, maybe a Spec Ops or something like that. So the first game that comes to mind that I would say would be my favorite would be the original Black Ops. And that's why in my previous videos, I'm so excited about maybe the rumors coming out that they're going to be remaking the Black Ops series, just like they did with the Modern Warfare series this time, which is a good thing because I love that Cold War era. I love the guns, the maps that they had in that game. It was just really fun and engaging, and I'm interested in seeing that in 2020 and the new technology that's come in the last 8 years since Black Ops 1. So Black Ops 1, I'd say, in my opinion, is the best Call of Duty game of all time. Looking at the campaign, probably the best campaign in a Call of Duty game. The story, especially the story. I don't want to describe the story for you. It was about it was like numbers and all this stuff. What's the numbers, Mason? The numbers. But it's actually hard to remember a lot of the details about the story because it's been so long since I've played the campaign. But I just remember at the time it was so engaging, so in depth, great set pieces, just a great campaign, and something that I to this day can remember flashes of, and it's just. I remember at the time it was a compelling story, and Call of Duty. It's usually like just big explosions, like especially in the Modern Warfare franchise, and a lot of stuff just like going all over the place. But this was more of like that. Plus, it had a lot of engaging storylines and a lot of set pieces that I think made for a really compelling story. So then you have that. Then you have zombies. Okay. And Zombies, this is the second game in Zombies has come out. Prior to this, it was just at World at War, which it was introduced. And this took Zombies to the next level. World at War was great, but it was still very basic at the time. Zombies. This Zombies and Black Ops 1, incredible, guys. Like, they introduced, obviously, the Pack-a-Punch was introduced prior at the last map in World at War, but they had all these different perks and these cool maps, and it was still very fresh. You know, Zombies now, people will be like, how do you like Zombies? Because Zombies today is so stale and repetitive and just boring, and it's all this fantasy stuff and fan fiction and all that kind of stuff. But back then, it was still grounded, and it still made a lot of sense to the storyline. I was still interested in the storyline back then. As time went on, I lost interest completely. But back then, the story was still engaging. The maps were great. The new things they would add to keep it fresh, and all the new perks and guns and wonder weapons. It was just a great Zombies mode, and it should be applauded for Treyarch for what they've done there. And then multiplayer. Black Ops 1 multiplayer was fantastic. Maps, great guns, great gunplay. The perk system was great with the pro perks. Kill streaks were fantastic. There was not one bad thing you can say about the game, honestly. Like the graphics weren't the greatest, I guess. It was a little bit like bland, I'd say, in the textures and the graphics, and the colors and stuff like that. But overall, great game, which adds that to the zombies, to the campaign. Just makes for a complete full package, you know. And it's a game that I cannot say is not the best Call of Duty game because it hits on all three cylinders, you know. And when a game hits on all three cylinders like that, how can you not put that towards the top, if not the top of your list? That's what I would say would be my favorite Call of Duty game, the original Black Ops. But a lot of people would say like the Modern Warfare 1, COD 4, Modern Warfare, and Modern Warfare 2, and then people would even argue Black Ops 2. For me, Black Ops 2, I think was a little overrated. People think Black Ops 2 was the greatest game. I think because a lot of people started to get introduced to the game at that time, so it was still like really new and fresh. By that point, I was starting to get a little bit fatigued from the franchise, a little bit, and that might have deteriorated away from my opinion on the game. But overall, I still think Black Ops 2 was a great game, but not even close to Black Ops 1. And I would still, if I were to say my next game that I would compete with Black Ops 1 for my favorite Call of Duty game, I would have to say MW2. And MW2 had a lot of problems. This was a time when they just released the game and they really didn't do much changes post-launch. They just kind of released it as it was and let it go to the next game came out. But so like the one-man army new tubes, and they had a lot of different problems with that game. But overall, it was such a fun arcade shooter. It was addicting. The campaign was great. Spec Ops was fantastic, and the multiplayer was great too. Call of Duty 4 was really the first start to the franchise that like the current setup that I have now with the multiplayer and campaign and third mode. But I wouldn't say that was as good as MW2 because MW2 had the opportunity to build upon that and make it even better. So I would say MW2 would be better than COD 4 Modern Warfare. So what I would say is Black Ops 1, best Call of Duty of all time, and then close behind it, close second, MW2. And then if you want to go beyond that, you can say COD 4, World at War was great, Black Ops 2, even MW3 I'd say below that threshold. Yeah, I mean, Black Ops 3 was alright, but for start, Black Ops 1, then MW2, for sure, are the top two games in the franchise, in my opinion, and a lot of people would agree with me on that as well. But yeah, besides all that, we had Black Ops 1, MW2, World at War, COD 4, Modern Warfare. There's just a lot of good games that came in the franchise, and that added a lot, you know. It wasn't easy for these guys to constantly come up with new titles every single year and keep the fans engaged. But there was like a 5-6 year span there when Call of Duty was just banging. It was at its peak, guys. I was engaged the entire way through. You would think after Call of Duty 4, okay, I played a year of this game. It's the same kind of thing over and over. Then you had World at War. Still great. I'm still engaged. Different time period. Second World War. It's still something new and fresh. Then you have MW2, and you're like, oh my god, a sequel to the original COD 4. Fantastic. Then you have the Black Ops 1, which just is, like I said before, an incredible masterpiece in my opinion. And then MW3, and then Black Ops 2 to top off the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 generation. So that generation of Call of Duty was the peak. Those, was it 6 titles? Just one after another came out and were just amazing. So that's pretty much all I have to say in today's video. Let me know down in the comments below what you think the best Call of Duty is. If you agree with my opinions on Black Ops 1 being the best, or if you think another game maybe that I didn't even mention would top your list. Just let me know down below what you think. Just wrapping up the gameplay here. I'm doing really well in this game, carrying my team, guys. I looked at the leaderboard at the end of the match. None of my guys are even going above a 1 kill ratio. So I'm straight up carrying my team to this victory right now, going off. I noticed there's a recent patch. If you're deciding to go back to World War II, because Modern Warfare is so bad and trash and awful, they added an update, 2.5 gigabyte patch. I don't know what that was. It seems like the skill-based matchmaking may have creeped back in here, because before this, it was so easy to get gameplays. It would just be like shooting fish in a barrel. Everyone was just standing around, and it was a joke. But now it seems a little bit harder and a little bit more resistance, but I'm still coming through with good gameplays. Nothing can stop me, you know. I just keep I still think that I'm an elite Call of Duty player. I've been playing the game for so long, so I better be, you know. But yeah, if you want to get better, check out my previous video on tips and tricks. Those are really helpful for you to get better and try to play a lot like me that I do in my gameplays. But with that, I want to thank you for checking out the video, and I will see you next time.